much can you guys learn about yourselves on a long, tough trip like this?
Yeah, it's important. Obviously, like knowing our record and where we are as a team, definitely is gonna tell a lot about us. And just being on the road, being together, being away from home, in moments where, like we're not where we're supposed to be, and have an opportunity. It's a good opportunity to go out there and play some good games on the road, get our confidence back, get some good wins, and just play basketball, play better, and enjoy each other's company.
Where the team is now compared to where it was even 2 weeks ago, how do you feel about that? Like, you think you guys are making?
I think we're making progress. Again, it's not quite there, right? Like it's like we're making progress, but we're not where we're supposed to be. So I think that we all know that, and I just like that we want to continue to work. And when you look at a lot of the games that we lost, like we're right there, and we're not even playing at our best. So I think that it just shows that if we get our things together, we can always, I think, every night have an opportunity to win, and I always felt like that. So.
And is it more at the defensive end right now? Like, is that where all the focus is?
I think it's everything. Just playing hard, and I think that just translates to offense too. Like if we get stops, we get more opportunity to score. We get everything, but. I think it's overall just our game in general, like as a team, playing hard, playing together, helping each other, which I felt like last year we did a lot of that. We did a lot of. It's not like we was perfect, but when somebody messed up, like there was somebody there to help him, and I think we kind of got away from that, and we gotta get that. And I think we had good stretches where we did that, but it was just not quite enough.
Do you almost have to like think less about what you guys are supposed to be and be like, okay, this is where we are right now, like let's just take a step forward in this?
Yeah, there's no point of thinking about where we was at last year or where we're supposed to be. Like this is our situation, this is the present, and we have to take it as it is, and just continue to focus on every day. Sounds like a broken record, but that's the truth. We gotta go out there and focus on every game, and like I said, I just feel like we don't play as well as we're supposed to play, and some of those games, like we're right there, So I think that it just shows that if we can play better, like we can win.
Is there a way, like an extended road trip, can help bring that focus maybe away?
Yeah, no, for sure, it definitely can. We're away from our families, we're away from from home, and it gives us an opportunity to just stay together, hang out more. And just go grind those wins out. Like there's going to be a lot of tough teams that we're going to play on the road, and it's going to take a lot of character, a lot of togetherness to be able to do that. So I think it's a fabulous opportunity for us to go out there and again, at the end of the day, man, this is basketball. Like go play basketball. Like just from when I started playing basketball, like it's always been about like going out and trying to be the best and trying to beat every team that you play. And we just got to go back to that, like playing basketball, having fun. And taking it one game at a time.
Just a more general question on offense and kind of exploded across the league this year. Since you've been in the league, what's the biggest difference between offenses and how teams are improving? What's the biggest reason?
Yeah, like when you guys ask me about this general league question, like I don't never know how to answer. Like you know that, like I don't know. Like you guys do the numbers, right? Like you guys figure it out. I don't know. Yeah.
Pascal, I want to ask you about Fred. In the last 20 games or so, he's really gone back to where he was at last season offensively. What have you noticed about his season this year? Obviously, he started it with a different role, but he's got his rhythm to play. What have you made of that?
Yeah, just continue to, again, like he was a low star last year. We all know what he can do on the floor. Just continue to do that. Like again, like we all go through periods of time where you're not going to score or the ball's not going to go in, and but I think that this commitment to getting better, I see him every day working. He has all the tools, from strength trainer to this to that. Like he puts it all together, and he prepares himself every single day. So I'm happy that things are looking at it turning around, and again, he's a big part of this team. So him continue to get better, and him continue to work and do the things that he does is only going to help us be successful.
When you're one of the big leaders on the team and you start to struggle, does that sometimes affect sort of the way you can speak to other players or even sort of command the same presence in the room? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to tell people you're doing wrong or right if you're not doing it well yourself.
Right. I mean, again, like I think for me, it's like that's not being a leader. It's not just pointing what people is doing wrong. Like, I think that's not just part of being a leader. Being a leader is no matter what, continue to be present every single day, working hard, doing the right things. I think that's what considers being a leader. Like, I don't think being a leader is just going out there and chewing everybody out and telling them what they're doing wrong. Like, that's not being a leader for me. And I think that he's been doing that, like being present every single day, doing the right things, and I think that's all we need from him. Right. No, he's been great. I think keeping things simple, just going out there playing basketball, using his instincts. Like, he was blessed with amazing talent. Just going out there and doing that without thinking about anything else. Like, just playing basketball and those natural talents just come out, you know. And he can always affect the game in so many different ways than scoring. Like, and I don't think that, you know, like, Masai drafted him thinking that he was going to come and average 30 points a game. Like, or at least not right away. Like, you know, he's going to continue to get better. He has so many things that he can do on the floor to be impactful that, you know, it doesn't always have to show up in the stat sheets, you know. And I think that as long as he's focused and doing the right things, like, he's going to be okay. Ah non, c'est vraiment frustrant pour nous en tant qu'équipe, en sachant que on sait bien qu'on n'est pas où on doit être en équipe. Et bon, l'essentiel maintenant, c'est de rester positif, continuer à travailler, essayer de faire tout ce qu'on peut faire ensemble pour essayer de sortir de la situation où on est. Et puis bon, on a une opportunité maintenant avec 7 matchs away. Donc pour nous, ce sera une très grande période pour notre saison, de juste continuer à travailler, continuer à être ensemble et de faire tout ce qu'on peut faire pour gagner et juste se focaliser à chaque match et essayer de faire mieux.
Est-ce qu'il y a un souci de faire encore mieux que n'importe quel autre voyage, sachant qu'au bout de ces 2 semaines-là, il y a la date limite des échanges?
Pas vraiment, je pense que c'est juste parce qu'on sait qu'on n'est pas où on doit être en équipe. Donc pour nous, ça, peu importe quand c'est, tu vois. On a besoin d'avoir des victoires consécutives et c'est ça qu'on cherche.
You've been on a few of these long trips over the years. How much do you think you guys can learn about yourselves on a tough, long West Coast trip like that?
I mean, we can learn a lot, you know, just from the simple fact of it's such a long trip. We're going to spend a lot of time together. We get a lot of chances to fight through adversity together, you know, without all of the extra distractions of being home and stuff like that. So for us, it's obviously a business trip. We just watched a film session of basically, like, you know, how well we were playing defensively last year and some of the effort plays and stuff like that. And we bring that same intensity that we had in that tape to each and every game. We put ourselves in a position to win this whole trip.
You mentioned the distractions. I mean, given the way the season has gone, trade deadline coming up, could this be almost like a good time to go on a trip like this?
It's a great time. It's a great time to go on a trip. You know, it's you know, a good part of the season where, you know, I think this is something that we definitely need. You know, a lot of time together to where we can figure things out together as a team, as a family, where we're spending a lot of time together, where we're, you know, sitting down, not just watching basketball games, but, you know, we're going to be watching a football game together. You know, we're going to be doing things together. So those different, you know, team dinners and stuff like that. So that different environment and different feel always brings guys closer together because we learn a lot about each other.
That film session you just talked about, and looking back at last year's defense and how good it was in the second half, how much of that is just the help?
I mean, I think it's just more so is just effort. You know, and that's all the way around from, you know, when a team makes a shot, well, when we make a shot and we're getting back on defense, picking the ball up early and, you know, showing our high walls and our high gaps, you know, making, you know, guys see, you know, not see lanes as opposed to, you know, how it's like the Red Sea is parted sometimes. You know, where we're getting back and everybody's in a defensive position and not standing straight up to where, you know, if a guy drives baseline, we have a base go and a guy's rotating for that guy and, you know, we're Xing out on the weak side. Just a lot of different things. I think it's just ready basketball. You know, it showed that we were always in ready mode, focus mode, effort mode, you know, always willing to make the next play. And that's what we need to get back to doing.
What do you feel is at stake here with the 2-week
I mean, a lot is at stake when you're trying to get back into the playoff hunt. I think we're 11th now or something like that. So, we're trying to, with a few games out, so we're trying to get back into the playoff mix where, we'll be fighting for a play-in game as of right now. But, it's still a long, part of the season. It's still a lot of games left before we get to All-Star break. So I think the biggest thing is just us just figuring out who we are as a team and we know who we are as a team. We just got to get back to doing it. So just figuring out how to get back to doing what we did last year.
With Fresh is back, finally getting his legs back underneath him, what kind of boost does that give into your second game?
It gives us a big boost. I mean, anytime, we have a guy who was an integral part of what we do or a big part of what we do that goes down and then comes back, it's huge for us because, those are the guys that we need in order to win basketball games. He's a talented individual who can go out there and be aggressive on the defensive side of basketball, but also put a lot of pressure on opposing defenses.
This is a more general NBA question, but since you've been in the league, obviously offenses have changed a lot this season. We're really seeing a scoring explosion. If there's one area, whether it's three-point shooting or something, what's the biggest change you've seen in offenses?
I'll probably say the biggest change is we've always shot threes for the past couple of years. All the teams have, but I think how they're getting the threes, it's just quick threes, continuously. All teams are trying to shoot up 50 to 60 threes. And that's a stat now. So if we put up 50, 60 threes, we shoot 36% from three, we should win the game. That type of stuff. So, so if teams are putting up those type of numbers from the three-point line, I think those are the things that has pretty much kind of changed a little bit. And then another thing is we're seeing a high volume of guys getting to the free throw line. I think those are the two key points and key areas of why we're seeing a lot of uptick in scoring because when you get to the free throw line, you're stopping the clock. So that's free points. When you're putting up a quick three, that's 2 or 3 seconds on that you gain to put up another three. So those different things are the reason why the game has changed a lot.
Given the state of the kind of offensive explosion, do you think defense is becoming a bit of a lost art in terms of how hard it has become to defend in this league?
Yes.
Is there any rule changes you like to see, or is it just a matter of defenses catching up?
I mean, I think the biggest part is just teams are putting up shots so fast and so quick to the point where you don't even get a chance sometimes to get back and play defense. Because the ball is being kicked up the court or, guys are pushing it up and teeing it off from the logo and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that defense have to catch up. I think we just have to get set a little bit faster. And our pickup points have to be a little higher than the usual, as opposed to us picking up at the three-point line like we're used to doing. We have to pick up now 3 or 4 feet above the three-point line to stop guys and slow guys down from starting to break. So I think those are the things.
Going back to what you said about team identity, you guys know who you are based off of last year. How would you describe that identity and how far you off of it from this year?
That identity was, I would probably say, when teams walk into Scotiabank or when teams came to play us, even at their arenas, that they're like, man, shit, this is going to be a hard team to play against. It's going to be a tough night. Opposing teams are, I think they worried about us a little bit. Now I think they're getting away from worrying about us a little bit and just kind of saying, hey, if you do this, this, and this, we'll be fine. And we want to put that fear back in people's heart. I think that's the biggest thing. When they step into the gym with us, we want them to worry about every single thing that we're going to do on the defensive side of the basketball because offense is going to be there. We're scoring enough points, to win a basketball game. We're just not getting enough stops, and we're not covering certain areas. We're 4 or 5 possessions away, and we turn those 4 or 5 possessions that we had miscues on into positives for us. We win the game.
Thad, there's been a lot of talk about what this team is supposed to be, where this team is supposed to be in the standings. As you guys try to figure it out, how important is it to maybe put that aside and be like, hey, this is where we are now. We got to take 1 step here, 1 step there.
I think we've already put that aside. It is what it is at this point in the season. We are who we are. But, who's to say we can't change? You know, so I think we put that part aside. We're worrying about what people think we should be and what we think we should be, and just going out there and just playing, and then letting the cards fall where they fall. You know, but the one thing we can control is our effort, the things that we're doing out on the court. You know, obviously the coaches can't play for us. You know, Musai and Bobby can't play for us. We as a team have to go out there and we have to put our foot down.
How's OG feeling? Was he able to practice today?
He told me he's 94%.
Oh.
I said, how you doing, 92%? He said,
Higher
no,
than I am.
94. Yep, I know, me too. Way higher than, anyway. So it's pretty good. He was okay.
No issues with the MRI then?
No, he's good. He's clear and went through all practice today and ready to go.
Christian Koloko was just sent down to the 905. What's the logic behind it? Is there any chance he joins the team on the road trip?
Yes, he's going to join us, I believe, for game 2. So we're just again in the same deal. He had a good performance with him with the 905 last game, and we're just trying to shift him a little bit up and down, leaning towards playing with them a little bit just to get some minutes, reps, and things like that.
Was this plan just kind of delayed because of the Precious injury? Ideally, this would have been happening earlier.
Probably, yeah.
How revealing was, Thad was just telling us about the film session you just had, looking back at last year's defense. How revealing was that for you, and how revealing was it for your players?
We didn't have a film session. What are you talking about? Looking back at last year's defense. That was a closed meeting.
Didn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, it was obviously just showing some of our consistency tendencies, the things that we need to, take up a couple notches from this. And it's not anything that we haven't talked about already here. Like, again, probably mentioned it in the last film session. A lot of it is what I would call early offense, right? Just transition and/or, one action offense that's getting way too, I guess, high efficiency shot for the other team, right? Like it's something we've always prided ourselves on is transition and taking away the first action, like just taking it out, right? So that boils down to, like I told them in there, it's not a 30-day process where we need to get out here and grind it out. Like we got to get I always say defense transition is at the top of the list, right? You got to get your defense set up, but before that, there's about 4 or 5 things like readiness, anticipation, toughness. There's a bunch of little things that even start before there's a pass even made. So that's kind of what we were talking about in my closed meeting.
Hesitant to talk about anything else that Thad told us. I don't want to get him in any more trouble, but he was talking about some of the benefits of a long road trip, and one of the things he said was avoiding distractions. Just given some of the noise of the season and obviously noise leading up to the trade deadline, is this a good time to go on a trip and try to get away from some of that stuff?
Well, it certainly feels like a good timing for it. Again, I think that we have played a little bit better, and there's some things certainly improving fairly quickly. And now, I mean, you can only find out if those things are going to continue to improve or stay solid when you play. And I think going out, and I would expect this. Well, I guess I'm the head coach, so we're going to make this thing pretty business-like, professional, leaning towards a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of practices, a lot of like this is going to be a pretty focused and work-themed trip.
With Precious back, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
With Precious back and like kind of getting his feet underneath him, like what kind of boost does that provide your second unit?
Well, he's really done a good job, I think, providing rebounding, defense, and spirit. Right, I think he's played tough. I think he's got up and down the floor. He's been active. He's been strong. Like that those things are very. It's all kind of complementary traits that we needed, and I think that rubbing off a little bit. And I think I've noticed too. I don't know for sure, but it seems like our offensive rebounding has taken a big boost. And again, I think it's something that he's been a part of, but I think he's bringing guys with him. just the energy of bringing guys with them. And I mean, you guys can remember too, is a lot of times there'd be, you know, a little bit of a funky lineup. Maybe we thought it was the last year when Thad, Chris, and Precious out there, but just relentlessness on the glass with those guys and not leave until we get a bucket and things like that. And it seemed to me that that's picked up a little bit. I don't know if the numbers bear that out. I know we got a bunch last game, but just feels like the defensive rebounds for the other team have gotten a lot harder, especially with that unit.
How much pressure is there going into this road trip just to start like really racking up wins here? And not that the players feel it, but do you think that it's healthy even?
Well, I think that we can't really worry about the noise or the pressure. I mean, we got to really dial in on just playing a little bit better, right? That's it. Like, again, it's focusing in on. It's almost kind of like, I mean, I compare it, but like, you know, you go into a playoff run and you kind of shut out everything and just really dial in on the game plan and your team and all that kind of stuff. I'd say it to that, and that gives you the best chance, I think, to just. I mean, we got to be concerned with us playing better, continually, coaching better, playing better. You know, just being. Again, I used the word readiness once already, but just like readiness when the ball's in play, man, we got to be ready to go and fight and compete and show some toughness and all those kind of things. And I think that's all we need to focus on.